Today I am interviewing Erica Anderson about her time in the Swedish colony. What's your favorite thing about living in the Swedish colony?
The heritage, more than anything. Knowing where you came from. And we've had people move in, but there's still a lot of the old folks that were here that could tell you stories you probably wouldn't even believe of things they did and had to do.
Yes, my grandfather was telling me a lot on the car ride into town.
Yep.
What was school like?
School was school. My classroom was one of the larger grades at New Sweden at the time. We had 18 or 20 kids in our class growing up, and we were all in the school right behind North Star Variety. And first through 8 were in that school, and the community center had the kindergarten room was over by where the gym was, which was also the community center. And we rode the bus, or my mother taught in Caribou, so we went to my grandmother's and we walked across the road to go to school every morning.
What is the most memorable story for you?
When I was younger, I really think my favorite memory of school is Swedish colony. Swedish colony. I liked the Swedish dancing when I was younger, and as I got a little older, we were asked to work at the blacksmith shop one time, and we had to do a whole crash course in learning all the equipment at the blacksmith shop. And surprisingly, that was actually very memorable because there's things in there that I would never have had any idea what they were used for. So I enjoyed that, and we did the Swedish dancing. St. Lucia was a big thing. Enjoyed that every year. I guess those are my favorite traditions from the Swedish colony.
How is Midsummer different?
They've added a lot to it. They do the painting, so younger, older can paint. They do games, Swedish games, which is really cool because we never did that. When I was younger, there wasn't booths or whatever out back to shop. There was just one little place with food and one little place with ice cream, and all you did was the flower race and the maypole, and that was it. And now they do a lot more. There's a lot more people involved, I believe, and I think we have bigger crowds. Some years we have larger crowds, some years, let's say, the crowds are about the same, but for the most part, they've advanced it and made it a bigger event. They don't just do the one day and then the little bit on Sunday. They do stuff throughout the whole day, which makes it, and the whole weekend. I know they do stuff on Friday in Stockholm, and they collect flowers on Friday, and then Saturday they do events up until probably close to 4 o'clock right at the museum, and then they do other things, the dance at night and the Swedish supper at the Lutheran church, and then Sunday there's events all day as well. So I think it's grown over the years from when I was a child.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 3 sisters, all older.
What type of chores did you have?
We did everything. Dishes, laundry, cleaning when we could, took care of the animals. We would get baby chicks every spring, and we would actually help slaughter them even in the fall. Even as little kids, my mother used to have a fit when Alicia and I were very little. Dad had us out back plucking chickens, and Mom was like, "Are you making the little girls do that?" And he's like, "They wanted to." So we did whatever we had to around the house. Mowed the lawn, did the garden.
How has the Swedish colony changed?
Sadly, we don't have the school anymore. So that was a big thing. I do know that Woodland is trying to bring the Swedish traditions into their school as well, which has been kind of nice to not see everything go to the wayside. So that's changed. I don't see the younger generation as involved as when I was a kid. When we did Swedish dancing, I would say out of the 20 kids in my class, probably 16 of them were in Swedish dancing. It was almost like a requirement. And in gym and stuff, we learned like square dancing. Kitty Dorr came and taught us how to do square dancing. It was really cool. And it was part of like a gym or after school. I don't even remember exactly, but we all did it. We all wanted to learn how to square dance. It was really cool. I don't see kids as active as they were when I was younger. We were into everything. We wanted to be into 4-H. We wanted to be into Girl Scouts. We wanted to be into any little thing there was. And now I see kids and they want to be on the computer. So I guess we didn't have computers. They weren't a big deal when I was a kid, so we didn't have them. So
what is something you wished you had?
as far as
Just something that you wanted.
that I didn't get, or
You could have got it later on, but like something that you really remember wanting at some point.
I don't know. I mean, just being funny, I always wanted the Snuggle Bear off the commercial, and for Christmas one year, my sister actually tracked one down and gave it to me when I was an adult, but that was my big thing. I wanted that Snuggle Bear, but I mean, that was just something funny I always said from when I was a little kid, and my mother said I was the hardest person to ever buy for because I always picked the hardest thing to get, and I never got a Snuggle Bear, and then one year, Christy showed up at Christmas with a Snuggle Bear.
Is there any other stories you'd like to share?
I don't know, like, when I was younger, another big memory was we had a class trip and a class dinner. And back then you didn't need a passport. So we actually went to Canada for our class dinner. And we tried foods, being from a little tiny community that we had never tried. We were eating escargot, we were eating frog legs, we were eating just anything we could find on the menu that was extravagant. And we were little 8th graders there eating this, and we had enough money, so we all ordered something different, and we all tried everything, duck and just stuff we'd never tried. And that was actually pretty neat. But I also found that the Swedish food is phenomenal. I know up in the French country, my boyfriend delivers schwans up there, and I make Swedish brownies and send up, and he hands them out to the little French ladies, and they send home stuff to me and French food. So we kind of swap food, and it's just a big joke now that I have to make a couple pans of Swedish brownies a week because he's got to give them to his people up in Fort Kent and Van Buren and St. Francis and the Allagash. They all look forward to their Swedish cooks, and they send home stuff they make.
And you're fine with me posting this to you?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome.